marathon route. A web of surveillance cameras up and running, and the eyes that will be watching the video.
Mourning the sudden death of a young Boston police officer and his connection to the shootout in Watertown.
An unexpected apology from Pope Francis, why he's asking for forgiveness over the church sex abuse scandal.
Plus, one-on-one with former Mayor Tom Menino, why he is so angry at Congress, and an update on his cancer fight.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 5 starts right now.
Breaking news in the high-profile murder of Odin Lloyd, and it involves two friends of Aaron Hernandez. I'm Paula Evans.
And I'm Jonathan Elias. Good to have you along this evening. A Bristol County grand jury just indicted two more men on murder charges. Jim Armstrong joining us tonight with the details of this. Jim?
Well, Jonathan, this news really came down just minutes ago from the office of the Bristol County District Attorney. Late this afternoon, the office tells us that a grand jury there has formally indicted Carlos Ortiz and Ernest Wallace, charging both men with murder in connection with the June 2013 killing of Odin Lloyd. Ortiz had claimed he was only along for the ride, as he said the night Lloyd was killed. Both he and Wallace, of course, are known to be close associates of former New England Patriots star player Aaron Hernandez. Wallace has been described as Hernandez's right-hand man. Prosecutors say that he and Hernandez plotted to figure out what to do with the gun believed to have been used to kill Odin Lloyd that night. Hernandez, of course, already facing a murder charge in connection with Lloyd's death, but up until this point, late today, Ortiz and Wallace had only faced lesser charges related to murder. Both men will soon face a judge in Fall River on the new charge. Prosecutors have not yet said when that will happen. Jonathan?
All right, Jim, thank you. Thousands of runners getting ready to make the 26.2-mile journey from Hopkinton to Boylston Street. And tonight, a new look at how local police are working together to keep this year's Boston Marathon as safe as humanly possible. Now, there are sweeping security changes surrounding this entire race.
The most noticeable will be security cameras all along the road. Christina Hager got a look inside the control center, and she's live in Boston tonight. Christina?
Well, Paula, I'm standing at a key spot on the marathon route when runners turn that corner from Hereford Street onto Boylston. That sends them sailing to the finish. And notice in this key spot, watching from above, a brand new security camera. As the Boston Marathon stage is set, every step of the way there's added security. Cameras so new, some still have wrapping on them. Installed this week, some temporarily, from now until after the race. All the different views are piped into command centers like this.
Bringing that into one system, so all the major command centers will be looking in real time at the same information for situational awareness.
This is the feed coming into the MBTA. There will also be one at the State Emergency Management Agency, where crews have been beefing up bandwidth to improve communications. Today, hundreds of officials from the federal and state levels met with law enforcement from 8 different communities along the marathon route. 250 of them will be here race day, studying what happens under this lens.
Downlinks from state police helicopters so they can get a different view of what's happening out there. They have folks that are out there monitoring social media, looking for trends.
At State Police Headquarters, 150 volunteers stuffed packets for runners. Their numbers accompanied by special security instructions. And it's not just race day crews are prepared for. There's also the bombing anniversary next week.
There'll be a significant presence of police in that area. Not as much as we have on race day, but there will be enough people there, particularly to make the victims feel secure.
That was WBZ security analyst Ed Davis. These new cameras we're looking at now are not only here near the finish line, but there will be 26.2 miles of security cameras all the way from here to Hopkinton. They're watching. In the back bay, Christina Hager, WBZ News. Jonathan, back to you.
Christina, thank you. The U.S. Attorney wants to know if lawyers for the accused Boston Marathon bomber will use a mental health defense. Prosecutors just filed a motion asking Johar Tsarnaev's attorneys to notify them in writing if they will seek expert testimony related to a mental disease or defect. The government has said if Tsarnaev is convicted, they will be seeking the death penalty. And attorneys for one of Tsarnaev's friends, Diaz Kadabayev, was also busy in court today because his attorneys filed a motion to dismiss the charges against their client. The lawyers say if the court won't drop the case, prosecutors have to explain exactly how they think that Kadabayev committed a crime.
Boston Marathon bombing survivor Adrienne Haslett Davis is fuming. She has repeatedly said she will not speak Johar Tsarnaev's name. Well, today, she walked off the set during a taping of NBC's Meet the Press. Later, the professional dancer tweeted, "Cannot believe," at Meet the Press, chose to use the bomber's name instead of respect their guest. Had to walk off the set crying. She also tweeted, "Let's change the dialect to honor the survivors and not focus on the criminals. Shame on you, Meet the Press."
Well, tonight a special tribute is in the works to honor the 4 people killed in the marathon bombings last year and also the manhunt for the suspects. A peace garden in Medford, and as our Bill Shields shows us, it is designed to be a place to remember and also reflect.
Crystal Campbell, her smile could light up Medford Square, and now her memory has found a permanent home right near Medford Town Hall.
This started out, it was going to be some seating area for the seniors with a plaque to the 4 victims. And then, as we talked about it more and more, we said, no, this should be a memorial.
The city is creating $1 million park to honor not only resident Crystal Campbell, but the other victims of the marathon bombings. The centerpiece will be a fountain.
But this fountain is supposed to be absolutely lovely, quiet, contemplative.
The marathon itself will be honored here too, with mile markers in the pavement. But the emphasis will be on the garden, a growing living memorial to those whose lives were taken or impacted.
Welcoming, peaceful, and a place just to contemplate life in front of the senior building.
And Crystal's parents, to this day, they struggle with the loss of their daughter.
I don't care if it's newborn or 6 years or 30 years or 40 years. It's very difficult. It's hard.
But Medford's mayor says the Peace Garden may help the Campbells and other families.
It is something that helps in a healing process, but we're also here to celebrate life.
They're still short a couple of $100,000 to make this project come to life, but just in the last couple of days, as word got out about it, they've had volunteers coming forward to do carpentry work and electrical work, so the mayor's confident this project for Crystal Campbell and the others will get done. In Medford, I'm Bill Shields, WBZ News.
They even have a timeline on it. The mayor said that he's hoping to have that garden finished by next spring. We will have special coverage of the Day of Remembrance because Tuesday, April 15th is that day, and we will be on the air with you all day long right here on WBZ. Tonight, the Boston Police Department is mourning the death of a decorated officer.
This unexpected passing of 28-year-old Dennis Simmons comes just weeks before he was to receive a national honor. Beth Germano is here now with the details. Beth?
Well, Boston police solemnly moved the body of Officer Dennis Simmons today, a 6-year veteran of the department. Simmons was on duty at the Boston Police Academy yesterday when he collapsed. Paramedics took him to Boston Medical Center where he died. Dennis Simmons had been assigned to the Youth Violence Strike Force. Last year, he was injured in the gunfight with the Boston Marathon bombing suspects in Watertown. That earned him the department's highest honor, the Schroeder Brothers Memorial Medal for his bravery. Today, officers accompanied his body to a funeral home in Randolph. President Obama was scheduled to honor Officer Simmons on May 12th with the Top Cops Award. It's given for action above and beyond the call of duty. There's no word yet on funeral arrangements. I'm Beth Germano, WBZ News.
All right, Beth, thank you. Well, we knew the gorgeous weather couldn't last forever. It's like one nice day, 2 days back, 2 bad days back.
We do have rain on the way tonight, but so are some of the warmest temperatures of the season. We have a live look outside towards Boston tonight, and our chief meteorologist, Eric Fisher, has a first look at your AccuWeather forecast heading into a weekend. Eric?
Hey there, Paula. Good evening, everybody. What we're talking about is nice, mild evening out there. A couple towns even were up around 70 degrees this afternoon. And now we've got some showers on the radar, right along a little system that's going to move through tonight. Some of this not reaching the ground just yet. Across central and western Mass, starting to get some light rainfall. This will be overspreading the region as we get toward the evening. So if you do have plans tonight, you're heading out and about, definitely want to bring the umbrella along with you. Timing out some of the rain. You know, it's spotty in nature. There'll be showers here and there through the evening, through the overnight, and even into very early tomorrow morning, the pre-dawn hours. But as we head towards 7 a.m., maybe starting to wake up. A great start with the clouds. They melt away by lunchtime. We're looking at a great Saturday and a pretty nice Sunday after that as well. So we're just going to get through a bit of a wet night tonight. Shouldn't pose too many problems with the Sox at Yankee Stadium. They're expecting some showers, but shouldn't stop the game. Paula, back to you.
Eric, thanks. Tonight, federal investigators are looking into a fiery bus crash in Northern California. that killed 10 people, including high school students. They want to know why a semi-truck crossed into the opposite lanes of traffic on a major interstate. Now, this accident happened last night in Orland, which is about 100 miles north of Sacramento. Greg Mills reports.
Investigators are examining the burned-out shells of the tour bus and FedEx semi involved in Thursday's deadly crash. 5 Southern California high school students, 3 adult chaperones, and the bus and truck drivers were killed. Dozens of others suffered burns, broken bones, and cuts. They were treated at 7 different hospitals.
I'll be on the scene. It is affirmative semi versus a tour bus.
Authorities say the southbound FedEx semi sideswiped the car, then suddenly swerved across the grassy median around 5:40 p.m. and slammed directly into the tour bus heading in the opposite direction. The bus was carrying more than 40 high school students to Humboldt State University for a campus tour.
It's a humongous tragedy and a tragic event of a magnitude that's not typical for this county.
Jeremy Lockett was driving on I-5 and pulled over to take photos. People in neighborhoods miles away could see the smoke. Investigators from federal, state, and local agencies are interviewing witnesses and trying to reconstruct the accident.
Determining the why, not just the what. The most important thing we can do is issue recommendations so these kinds of accidents don't happen again.
The investigation is expected to take months. A FedEx spokeswoman said the company is cooperating. Greg Mills for CBS News, Orland, California.
This afternoon, Duxbury firefighters rushed to rescue a man who was trapped under a large tree. Emergency crews tweeted out these pictures. It was a 600-pound tree near Temple Street that fell right on top of this guy, pinning his leg. Firefighters had to cut through the brush and use airbags to lift the tree up off of him. Paramedics flew him to Beth Israel. Investigators don't know why the tree fell or what the guy was doing in the area at the time.
A man wanted in a New Hampshire bank robbery was arrested after crashing his car here in Massachusetts today. Police say Andrew Dufresne took off when they spotted him in a stolen car on a Lawrence Street this morning. Well, they caught up with the 42-year-old when he crashed his tan Buick into a tree on the Lawrence-Methuen line. Dufresne is accused of robbing the People's United Bank in Manchester, New Hampshire on Wednesday. Steve Wynn's proposed casino in Everett could be in jeopardy. The Globe reports that a landowner is now refusing to sign a pledge that no secret owners would profit from the property's sale. He's also refusing to testify before the state's gaming commission under oath. Well, that's fueling speculation that a convicted felon is still part owner of the land. The Gaming Commission says it will not approve a casino without assurances that criminals will not profit from it.
Today, Pope Francis delivered the strongest apology yet on the church sex abuse scandal. The Pope spoke off the cuff as he met with a children's rights group at the Vatican, and he said this, quote, "I feel compelled to personally take on all the evil, to personally ask for your forgiveness for all the damage they have done," end quote. For decades, victims accused the Vatican of turning a blind eye to pedophile priests. The Pope has set up a Vatican committee to help fight sex abuse, saying the safety of children must be a priority.
Coming up, no apology from former Boston Mayor Tom Menino, why he's blasting Congress as we approach the 1-year mark of the marathon bombing.
Also ahead for us, the winter lasted a whole lot longer than most of us would have liked, so will that throw a wrench into spring gardening?
Plus, a strange substance on the hand of a Yankees pitcher last night against the Sox. Major League Baseball weighs in. That's up next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Luna.
Buy 2 rooms of flooring with installation and get product for the rest of your home for $99.
877-241 Luna.
Hi, I'm Roberto Napoleon. People always ask me, what is the Nicolak difference? When it comes to product, home always wants the best.
It lasts. It looks like the day it was laid down.
This is Nicolak. This is a competitive brand. See the difference in the intensity of the color.
And the color went all the way through.
We apply a protective surface and eliminate all the pitfalls that other brands may have. That will not happen with a paper sheet product. They can be confident it's the best product they can possibly buy. See the Nicolak difference.
For more information, visit Nicolak.com/TV2.
It started when Joe was battling cancer.
When I got my diagnosis, just had to face it head on.
The Joe Andruzzi Foundation provides help, hope, and a reason to smile for patients and their families that are battling cancer.
This year, we're at 48 runners. Every stride they make, they're helping families pay a mortgage, pay a rent, utilities.
They do a lot for our foundation. They are helping hundreds of families.
It goes a long way.
Don't miss the Boston Interiors Warehouse Clearance Sale, this weekend only in Stoughton. The style and quality Boston Interiors is known for, now up to 70% off. That's right, save on overstocks, floor models, and one-of-a-kind furniture, mattresses, and more. Only at our Stoughton warehouse, and only this weekend. Bring a truck and haul away serious savings. This weekend at the Boston Interiors Warehouse Clearance Sale, only at our Stoughton store, 301 Page Street.
I was in constant pain.
Constant pain.
I thought foot pain was just part of life.
My back and knees, hips, and feet confirmed. Winning gold has its price.
But I felt relief right away with Good Feet.
Good Feet has made it physically possible for me to stay on top of being a busy mother of four.
And has allowed me to live a full and pain-free life.
Take that first step, pain-free.
For a location near you, call 617-581-6989 or visit bostonfootpain.com.
Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive our lowest lease on a Prius C, just $97 a month with no cost maintenance included. Or get best ever 0 for 60 plus $750 bonus cash on a Prius liftback. Hurry, Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up soon. Toyota, let's go places.
Major League Baseball is responding to accusations Yankees pitcher Michael Pineda had pine tar on his hand during last night's game against the Red Sox. There was no formal complaint during the game, so there won't be any punishment.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the issue will be ignored. Dan Roach joins us, and this is like a chew toy for folks on talk radio. They love this stuff. Well, because, you know, we had Lester, had a little something going on. Now we got Pineda.
It's one of those unwritten rules that is kind of a
Just don't get
fine line.
caught.
Yeah, exactly. All right, the Nesson TV crew and Sox fans were on social media when pretty peeved last night when the Yankees pitcher seemed to have a foreign substance on his hand. But after the game, the Red Sox players pretty much brushed this thing off, saying it's just part of the game. Now, TV cameras showed Yankees starting pitcher Michael Pineda with what appeared to be a dark substance on the palm of his throwing hand for the first 4 innings, possibly pine tar. After the game, Pineda said it was dirt. Now, Joe Torre, Major League Baseball's Executive VP of Baseball Operations, released a statement today saying, quote, the umpires did not observe an application of a foreign substance during the game, and the issue was not raised by the Red Sox. There are no plans to issue a suspension, but we intend to talk to the Yankees regarding what occurred. Now, Red Sox pitchers Clay Buchholz and John Lester were both accused of using foreign substances in games last season, but nothing ever came of that investigation either, and if you want to call it an investigation. So, the bottom line is it's one of those rules where guys in colder weather use it to get a better grip on the baseball. And you talk to players in the game and pitchers, they'd rather have that as a safety issue so guys don't lose control of the ball. I think the players are fine. David Ortiz said after the game, we know about it. They use it. Pitchers use it all the time. We're okay with it, basically.
If Sox batters had shelled Pineda, non-issue?
See, I didn't think it was a non-issue to the Red Sox players themselves. I think an issue everywhere else. If they had shelled Pineda, nowhere else it may have been an issue too.
All right, Danny, thanks very much.
Okay.
And they might need a little extra something down there in the Bronx tonight. A few rain showers moving through. Tough to get a grip on the ball. You know, around here today, not too many complaints. It wasn't perfect blue sky, but look at the temperatures. 68 was the high in Boston, 70 in Nashua, Concord, up to 72 degrees. More sunshine there to southern New Hampshire. And even down to Falmouth, 63. Not bad. The water influenced the temps just a little bit, but not too much to really write home about. We have a front that's moving its way through, and this is going to bring some rain showers during this evening. If you have dinner plans, you'll be driving around. We're going to see some rain moving across between now and throughout much of the overnight. Most of this will be light to moderate in nature. It's not going to cause any major issues in terms of flooding, ponding on the roads, anything like that. But it will be damp overnight. This little area of low pressure moves through. It is gone by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. If you're an earlier riser, it's probably going to be a gray start to the day with some clouds still lingering. They'll melt away by lunchtime, midday, and afternoon. Lots of sun. And as we head towards Sunday, a little change. Warm front moving its way in. This may bring some cloud cover to start the day off. I think this will make progress through the region as we head to the afternoon. We'll brighten things up. We'll be into the warm sector, and it will be extremely warm as we head into the day on Monday next week. Things still looking to go to be our warmest day since all the way back in October. So tonight, areas of rain will be some patchy fog. Temperatures holding in the 40s. A couple suburbs out across central Massachusetts. You may be looking at temps maybe in the upper 30s overnight. Fitchburg 36, 39 in Worcester. Keene down to 35. 40s across all of the eastern half of the state. Then we take a look at highs tomorrow. We're looking at readings well up into the 60s again. There will be a sea breeze developing in the afternoon, so right along the coast, 50s and even a couple of 40s possible. Everyone else well above the 60-degree mark. And just tracking through the weekend here, we're looking at really a beautiful Saturday to be outdoors. We go into Saturday night, clear skies, maybe a little bit of fog, lower 40s. And then into the day on Sunday, may start off on the gray side, increasing sunshine, and certainly the warmest temps the farther south you go. Into southern New Hampshire, it may be a little bit cooler during the second half of the weekend. There you see that ocean influence, the sea breeze tomorrow, cooler on the coast for the next couple of warm days, Sunday and Monday. We'll talk more about the rain that follows the warmth coming up next half hour. Jonathan?
Eric, we'll see you then. Thanks. And the warm weather now is wonderful, but many of our spring blooms are delayed just a bit, maybe a little longer, because of the late cold snow.
But here's the good news. Despite the delay, the harsh winter may not have been all that damaging. Meteorologist Todd Guttner has the details.
For much of the winter, New England was encased in a glacier of snow, sometimes over 2 feet thick. And while many cringed at the never-ending white landscape for Parley Farms in Tingsboro, it was exactly what they wanted to see.
Farmer's gold. So that when you have snow, and for us, especially because we have strawberries, it protects the strawberries for the winter, and it's like a warm blanket that keeps them from getting real cold. It didn't seem to get cold enough to damage either our blueberries or our apples, so they came through all right. We're a little concerned on the peaches and the cherries, so overall I'd say the snow was good.
One fear over the winter for many homeowners is property damage, especially to trees and shrubs. But this year, the damage was surprisingly low.
We had a lot of snow this winter, but I think it really has to do with what happened in years past, the past 2 years, 3 years. You know, we had Sandy, we had the nor'easter of Halloween, we had Irene, and I think it really took care of a lot of the poor performing trees, some of the trees and limbs and branches that were in weakened state.
While chainsaws and bucket trucks may not be needed this spring, Lynch Landscape and Tree Service in Wayland will still be very busy.
So you probably noticed November, December, a lot of the brown moths flying around, maybe on the headlights as you're driving your car, on the door, maybe around the house, the lights around your house. And those, in the winter, are harmless. But give it about another month or so, and you're going to start seeing these little green 1-inch caterpillars. Those caterpillars are going to start defoliating trees.
And there's only one way to get rid of them.
You can have up to 100,000 caterpillars in a tree. So we have teams and crews of arborists that will go out and actually spray and protect these trees.
After the harsh winter that we just had, many are itching to get back in the garden. And now that the snow is melting away, it's time to start planting.
April is the month you get out in your garden, you get started, and the first thing you want to do is spend some time in cleaning up your garden, moving all that winter debris, feeding. You know, about the second week is when you can finally start adding your pansies and other spring blooming plants. And don't forget, Todd, I know you love vegetables. You can definitely start your cold crop veggies like lettuce, parsley, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all that stuff that can take the cold.
And what about summertime faves like tomatoes and cukes?
Mother's Day, plant away. That's a motto that we live here by. So I think in the middle of May, you can plant your tomatoes, your other tender vegetables. All your annuals should be ready to go in the ground by then. And of course, perennials, roses should be safe to go.
And Todd reminds us it's important to pay attention to those low morning temperatures. Typically, the final frost in Boston occurs the second week of April, but about a month later in the suburbs, which is why I don't plant anything till Memorial Day weekend, because I kill it. Usually, it will not survive.
It might be fun to try a vegetable garden. Todd's got a green thumb, though. That guy's tomatoes. He brings in great tomatoes with us.
Beautiful tomatoes.
He does.
Every year.
When we continue, there is new research out there on concussions.
Yeah, the focus is primarily on boys, but it turns out concussions hit girls harder.
Plus, real-time traffic information out on the road for you, the signs that could make a huge difference in your commute. And now here's a look at what's ahead at 6.
Coming up new at 6, World Series rings, championship trophies, balls, bats, and pictures signed by baseball greats. A century of Red Sox history collected by the late Johnny Pesky.
I mean, these are things that you just don't see anymore.
The treasure trove now up for sale here at Fenway Park. And a conversation with Johnny Pesky's son about what these items meant to his father and his family.
Just in time for Easter, it's the semi-annual dress event at K&G. Choose from thousands of new dress styles for only $19.99. Plus, select designer suits are just $50 each when you buy 3. Only at K&G. K&G.
Report a claim. Pay your bill. Safety's mobile app is just one more way we help you manage life's storms. For auto, home, and business, ask your independent agent about safety insurance.
Termites in your basement? Ants in your kitchen? Ticks and mosquitoes in your yard? With Modern Pest Services, you'll never worry about a pest, stinging insect, or wildlife issue again. Call now and your first service is free. Pest problems? Not on our watch.
Real people, steel people. They want power, dependability, and lasting value. Now is the time to get hardworking steel equipment for homeowners and professionals, including the reliable PG55 handheld blower, just $149.95. Plus, get the versatile steel KM56 RCE combi motor at a new lower price. Now just $199.95. Visit steeldealers.com.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know bad news doesn't always travel fast?
Mr. Tompkins.
Todd? You're fired. Well, go on, run.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Just in time for Easter, it's the semi-annual dress event at K&G. Choose from thousands of new dress styles for only $19.99. Plus, select designer suits are just $50 each when you buy 3. Only at K&G.
K&G.
Massachusetts drivers will now have more information about traffic in their area because today, MassDOT turned on the first permanent travel time signs on Route 6 on the Cape. Now, the signs will tell you exactly how long it will take to get between the 2 listed locations. You can expect to see them statewide by the end of next year.
The grilled cheese sandwich is getting a gourmet makeover. Dan Anneman of the Phantom Gourmet finds new ways to enjoy the comfort food classic.
At Slate Bar and Grill in the Financial District, upscale grilled cheeses are a popular lunch choice, especially the CEO sandwich packed with fresh tomato and crispy bacon.
We're using farmhouse cheddar and big, thick country white bread, griddled to perfection, milky, beautiful. We want that inner child to come out and enjoy it.
Camp Restaurant on Lake Winnipesaukee in Meredith, New Hampshire is known for their throwback atmosphere and classic comfort foods like this.
Warzone cheese, cheddar cheese, some beautiful farmhouse white bread. It goes into our panini press, and then to really make it a comfort food, we put some creamy tomato soup on the side of it.
Overlooking the Seekonk River in Providence, Rhode Island, the Waterman Grill adds a little touch of luxury to their grilled cheese with the help of lobster and pancetta.
You can't go wrong with grilled cheese on a really thick, crusty Pullman bread, and then you use that fresh lobster meat to it. How can you go wrong?
There are even a couple grilled cheese themed restaurants in Boston, including Cheese Boy at the Prudential Center and South Station, and Roxy's Grilled Cheese opening soon in Alston. For more food and fun, watch the Phantom Gourmet Saturday and Sunday at 10:30 and 11 on MyTV 38.
It works every time. Every story does. It gets you hungry. And training for the marathon, I'm not sure they're eating a lot of grilled cheese sandwiches.
That's right. And you have to watch what you eat. Still to come, Dr.Mallika on the importance of healthy diets for runners.
Plus, a witness to the school stabbing spree is speaking out. How this teenager turned into a hero.
Former Boston Mayor Tom Menino has a message for Washington Pols posturing over the marathon bombings. Knock it off. That and more in our one-on-one interview.
Starting Monday, Cade Merrill joins David, Todd, and Michelle for WBZ News in the Morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 a.m. Like us, and you can drive away with the car of your dreams. Enter the Like CBS and Win sweepstakes, and you could win an all-new 2015 Audi A3. Go to our Facebook page, click like, and enter for your chance to win.
Today's weather on WBZ is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers.
The all-new Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. The truck that beats any Ford F-150 in fuel economy, and the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. And now, during Chevy Truck Month, the price you see is the price you pay for a 2014 Chevy Silverado. Use special Truck Month pricing to get a total value of over $8,100 on this Silverado All-Star Edition with best-in-class V8 fuel economy.
Visit your New England Chevy dealer.
Seasons change, and so do styles. What never changes is the untouchable value at My Bob's Discount Furniture. The Venus is my best-selling sectional. All 4 pieces, only $9.99.
Available in left or right-facing chains.
In your choice of Dune or Java, still only $9.99.
Special order colors only $39.99 more.
Delivered in 21 days or less. Thanks to you, My Bob's is 50 stores strong and growing stronger every day.
Tonight's primetime lineup is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. Blue Cross Blue Shield of you.
Winter's in full swing, and Butchika's in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire is your place to gear up for ski and snowboarding this year. Come in, get expert advice from our knowledgeable and experienced staff, browse our huge selection, and take advantage of our low prices on the latest equipment. Plus, get a lift ticket to J Peak with the purchase of any ski or snowboard package over $499. J Peak, the most snow in Eastern North America. Butchika Ski Shop, your skiing and riding connection, on Route 28 in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire.
The character of a champion includes overcoming adversity. And in last year's marathon, Lisa DeCisa was the champion.
The Boston Marathon.
DeCisa felt touched by the tragedy, and he wanted to bring the champion's medal and present it back to the city of Boston. He came back to present that most cherished of symbols to a city that had shown the resilience of a champion. His way of saying, we're all champions, we all share this.
When his city came under attack, he left his hospital bed to help calm the public. And as the marathon bombing anniversary approaches, former Boston Mayor Tom Menino is on the attack himself.
Well, he is furious about what he calls an insensitive affront to survivors of that day.
The former mayor sat down with political analyst John Keller today. And John, what has the mayor so upset?
Well, Paula, Jonathan, it's the flurry of Beltway reports and hearings timed to coincide with this grim milestone that has Menino concerned about the feelings of bombing survivors and lashing out at politicians he says are putting posturing and headlines ahead of genuine empathy.
There are still unanswered questions about the history of the Zarnovar brothers.
That's all about serving a political person's ego. That should not happen.
Tom Menino is myth, to say the least, at all the high-profile Washington activity coinciding with the bombing anniversary.
If Washington really cared about these folks, they'd send money. But you know what it is? It's all about their egos, getting the name in the newspaper, and to get the name, to make them look good for the shortcomings they have in Washington. The survivors went for a hell of a year. And, you know, to have this side of the newspapers for 3 or 4 days, just wears on them. You know, let's get beyond this. One thing I found during this whole experience was the strength of the survivors. I could never believe how strong they were, how resilient they were. I've been with them several times in the past year, and they're very special people.
On a personal note, a month into his treatments for cancer, Menino says he's been moved by the outpouring of support, including a personal note from former President George W. Bush, a phone call from former Vice President Al Gore, and more than 100 emails from people suggesting alternative cancer treatments, including yoga.
Imagine me doing yoga, oh my God. No way. No, I'm doing exercise, but I'm not doing yoga.
You don't think you'd look good in spandex?
I know I won't look good in spandex. I know I won't. I would not look good in spandex. Let me tell you, pal.
No argument there, Mayor. But Menino says he's encouraged by early progress in his cancer battle, and he certainly was feeling his oats during our wide-ranging interview, in which he flatly predicted that growing public unease with the casino siting process will lead to no license being awarded in the greater Boston region. You can watch that conversation in full this Sunday at 8:30 on WBZ News. Paula, back to you.
Maybe while you're doing your yoga, right? In honor of the mayor, John Keller, thank you so much. Well, tonight, health officials are waiting for the results of a rabies test on a fox that attacked a little girl in New Hampshire. Now, the animal chased the girl through Donball Park, which is in Derry, New Hampshire, and then bit her on the leg. Adults caught the fox and held it until police arrived. Investigators think that the girl was the animal's second victim. Earlier this week, a fox chased a 9-year-old boy in his driveway, not far from that park.
President Obama today announced his choice to head the nation's Health and Human Services Department. He nominated Sylvia Matthews-Burwell for the job. She is currently director of the Office of Management and Budget. The president thanked outgoing Secretary Kathleen Sebelius, who oversaw the rocky rollout of the Affordable Health Care Act.
Under Kathleen's leadership, her team at HHS turned the corner, got the job done, and the final score speaks for itself.
This is the most meaningful work I've ever been a part of. In fact, it's been the cause of my life.
The White House says more than 7.5 million people have signed up for health insurance. The Senate still needs to confirm Burwell. She was unanimously confirmed as budget director.
On the Health Watch tonight, new information about concussions. Doctors say that girls may take 22 days longer than boys to recover from the brain injury. Both genders reported symptoms of headache, trouble concentrating, sensitivity to light and sound, and dizziness. But in girls, the symptoms were more severe, and they lasted much longer. Well, right now, people all over the state are running mile after mile, training for the Boston Marathon.
But even with all that exercise, runners still need to watch what they eat. Here's Dr.Mallika Marshall.
Well, the problem I have is when I cheat, I really go over the edge.
Steve Gaddam is an avid runner and generally eats healthy, but every now and then, he gorges on sweets.
It's like multiple bowls of ice cream, and yesterday I had 5 cookies.
Danielle, who's been a runner for 8 years, watches what she eats, but says frozen yogurt is her weakness.
I figure if I run between 6 and 7 days a week, I can at least have half the amount of those days being froyo.
Many athletes believe that if they run often and consistently, they don't necessarily have to watch what they eat. But doctors say, not so fast.
Just exercising in and of itself isn't enough.
Dr. Ido Weinberg is a vascular medicine specialist at Mass General and a triathlete. He says that although regular exercise is probably the #1 thing you can do to improve your health,
people who exercise can't say that, they're exercising so they can go crazy and do whatever they want. People who run also need to take care of their diet, need to never smoke, need to manage their blood pressure. If they happen to have an elevated blood pressure, they need to manage their cholesterol.
Dr. Weinberg says your family history plays a large role when it comes to heart disease.
Artery disease in general, both in the heart and in the other locations, such as stroke and blood vessels in the legs, is hereditary. So definitely, sometimes you do whatever you can, but there's still the genes that you have to work with.
So keep on running, you runners out there, but don't forget that in order to reap the maximum benefits, you also need to take care of yourself in other ways. That means treating yourself to ice cream and cookies on occasion, but don't overdo it simply because you broke a sweat. I'm Dr. Mallika Marshall, WBZ News.
If you have a thought, idea, or story you'd like to share with Dr. Mallika Marshall, she'd love to hear it. You can email her directly at drmallika@cbs.com, or you can tweet her at Mallika Marshall.
Remembering the youngest victim of the Boston Marathon bombings, how Martin Richard and his inspirational message will be honored during this year's race.
But after the break, after weeks of frustration, there is renewed optimism that investigators will find out what happened to Malaysia Flight 370.
Boston's must-see dance event of the season is Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Don't miss the world's most popular dance company at the City Wing Theater. May 1st through 4th only. For tickets, visit citycenter.org.
Report a claim. Pay your bill. Safety's mobile app is just one more way we help you manage life's storms. For auto, home, and business, ask your independent agent about safety insurance.
Beltone, a global leader in hearing care, is conducting a new trial on innovative hearing technology. If you qualify to participate, you will be asked to evaluate a remarkable new product from Beltone. This small device delivers power and clarity. It is virtually invisible and comfortable. Call 1-800-BELTONE now and hear sounds, words, and conversation more clearly from your phone, TV, or cell phone. Call 1-800-BELTONE today.
Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive our lowest $287 a month lease on a Tundra Double Cab SR5 with no cost maintenance included. Or get our lowest $287 a month lease on a 4Runner with no cost maintenance. Hurry, Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up soon. Toyota, let's go places.
I was impressed with how many great reviews they had.
What makes CertaPro different is that our people really care about making our customers happy.
They asked what they could do to make painting an extraordinary experience for us. And they kept the gate latched.
We worked through a personalized written certainty pledge.
CertaPro painters did a wonderful job. They respected our lifestyle and their home.
It's about 5-star craftsmanship and having truly satisfied customers. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. CertaPro Painters, because painting is personal.
It's a springtime sale extravaganza this week at Namco. Buy an 18-foot solstice pool for just $11.99. An amazing savings of $1,700. Or buy one of our all-new Allura pools and get a standard pool package for free. That's a $900 value, absolutely free. And get reduced minimum financing. But act now, this springtime sale ends on April 13th. And new for 2014, place your order online and pick it up in store at your convenience. Visit namcopool.com for details.
Whether you're an athlete, volunteer, or fan, we run together in the 2014 Boston Marathon. Join the conversation and share your story. Hashtag We Run Together. Boston's must-see dance event of the season is Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Don't miss the world's most popular dance company at the City Wing Theater. May 1st through 4th only. For tickets, visit citycenter.org.
WBZ News is sponsored by Sleepy's, the mattress professionals.
New details now in the search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Investigators may be very close to finding the plane's data recorders in the Indian Ocean. As Wendy Gillette shows us, crews are now focusing on a 500 square mile patch.
Australia's Prime Minister offered assurances today that search teams may be close to finding the missing Malaysia Airlines jet. A U.S. Navy black box detector aboard the Australian ship Ocean Shield has picked up 4 underwater signals over the past week in the southern Indian Ocean, consistent with those emitted by the plane's black boxes.
We have very much narrowed down the search area, and we are very confident that the signals that we are detecting are from the black box on MH370.
Prime Minister Tony Abbott spoke to reporters while visiting Shanghai, China. He also brought up the sobering reminder that time is running out. The batteries which emit the signals only last about 30 days, and the plane disappeared more than a month ago.
We are hoping to get as much information as we can before the signal finally expires.
Family members of some of the passengers aboard Flight 370 say they're waiting for final confirmation that the black boxes have been found.
Evidence, facts be laid out, so then only we will actually believe.
The relatives say they want to see wreckage of the plane, not just the data recorders. Wendy Gillette for CBS News.
Today, in the Oscar Pistorius murder trial, the chief prosecutor grilled the track star about screams coming from his home the night he shot and killed his girlfriend. Pistorius has been on the stand every day this week. Today, he said he was contradicting himself and making mistakes because he's getting too tired and stressed. The judge repeatedly asked him if he was okay to continue testifying. Cross-examination will resume on Monday.
This year, 100 people will run the Boston Marathon in honor of 8-year-old Martin Richard, who lost his life at the finish line. Coming up after the break, how this year's race will help keep the Dorchester boys' message of peace alive.
And if you have weekend plans, we've got some good news. We've got some rain on the way tonight, but things will be clearing out for Saturday and Sunday. We'll have a full outlook when we come back.
Last year was one of those times where something happened that we could never have imagined. One moment you're a reporter standing on the finish line, and then in the next moment, everything changed. I think the race this year means so much more. You know, as Boston Strong, we're going to come back because we're resilient. This is our race. You know, we love this day, and so many people are really just inspired by what these runners can do. I was standing right there on the finish line last year, and I'm going to be standing right there on the finish line again this year. I'm really excited for this year's race.
This is the Name Your Price tool. It gives you options based on your budget. It's a piece of cake.
Hosted
was told there would be cake.
Get a free quote at Progressive.com.
Start with a Hollywood dream. Add aerospace thinking and plenty of sunshine. California design, sleek, sexy, and open to the new. A modern mindset that shaped the way we live today. On view till July 6th.
I am the style enforcer, and this one gets a ticket for driving while captivating. And with 370 horsepower, I'd write that one up for excessive use of force. Look at the leather seats. They are softer than the leather on my face. I would drive one of these babies home right now. I can just remember where I lived. Let's go, Cookie.
Get a low-mileage lease on the 2014 Dodge Dart GT for $179 a month for well-qualified lessees.
Show me the movies with the Arnold Schwarzenegger with the stunts and loud explosions and all the muscles.
I want to see the comedy programming with the people sitting in the living room with the children. What's brother? Yeah, I want to see the Real Housewives. Right, play. All right, rewind, play.
Jimmy, please. It's been hours. We told you the X1 Entertainment operating system really does work with any voice.
Cool. What's on now?
Control your TV with your voice. The X1 Entertainment operating system. Only from Xfinity.
Hi, I'm Roberto Napoleon. People always ask me, what is the Nicolot difference? When it comes to product, home always wants the best.
It lasts. It looks like the day it was laid down.
This is Nicolot. This is a competitive brand. See the difference in the intensity of the color.
And the color went all the way through.
We apply a protective surface and eliminate all the pitfalls that other brands may have. That will not happen with a paper sheet product. They can be confident it's the best product they can possibly buy. See the Nicolot difference.
For more information, visit Nicolot.com/TV2.
The Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive the lowest ever lease on a well-equipped Corolla Sport for only $117 a month with no cost maintenance included. The Gifts of Spring will soon be wrapped up. Toyota, let's go places.
Start with a Hollywood dream. Add aerospace thinking and plenty of sunshine. California design, sleek, sexy, and open to the new. A modern mindset that shaped the way we live today. On view till July 6th.
Beep, bop, boop, bop, boop, beep. She says switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Call or click today.
CBS Money Watch Stock Update is brought to you by Citizens Bank. Good banking is good citizenship.
In the years since the Boston Marathon bombings, the outpouring of sympathy and support for the families of the victims has been overwhelming.
And the youngest of the three victims killed at the finish line, 8-year-old Martin Richard from Dorchester. As Kate Merrill shows us, this year, 100 people will run the marathon for the Martin Richard Foundation.
They are the faces of Martin Richard, his soccer coach, his neighbor, his friend's dad, a local mom, even his second-grade teacher. They are part of Team MRA with one mission.
Trying to live out his legacy of no more hurting people of peace and wanting to really help Jane and Henry and the rest of the family move forward and use this as something for good.
Rachel Moo had Martin in her class, and running was their connection.
When Martin was in my class, he had always wanted to run a marathon and said that he wanted to run his first marathon with me when he was old enough to apply.
For his soccer coach, this team wasn't even a question.
He was an amazing athlete, and he really thought I was a good soccer coach, and I wasn't. It was because Martin did everything. Everything I needed, Martin did. So he's just a wonderful kid. And so when they asked to run the marathon, I had to step up.
But for most, this is all about healing and moving forward.
You find out it's someone you know, and it affected my son Michael a lot because it was the first time he's ever had to deal with a tragedy like that, and us as well. I mean, it was really tough.
For the Richard family, for the community in Boston as a whole to move forward, just to be strong together.
Most of the charities come out of something unfortunate and sad, but they've figured out a way to really fight back and turn it into something positive.
For this group, being part of Team MRA is an honor and a mission for the future of the foundation, but also for Martin.
So Bill said, Martin will never run the marathon. So you have to run the marathon as Martin. So when I got up at 3:50 to run through Boston, I was Martin Richard.
Kate Merrill, WBZ News.
If you missed our special one-hour presentation, Boston Marathon, The Road Ahead, you'll have another chance to see it, we will re-air the special tomorrow night at 11:35 right here on WBC. And I guess for training purposes, this is probably a pretty good day out there. A little overcast, bring the heat down a little bit.
Getting some raindrops.
It's been good. This whole week has been good, and it's going to stay good for a few more until the bottom drops out. We knew that was coming.
Which is?
Can't keep going on forever. All right, how about the Sox and Yanks? They're in the Bronx tonight, and at the Boogie Down, we're talking about 60s at first pitch, 50s at the end of the game. There'll be some showers around, but I don't think it'll be anything too heavy. And don't think they'll have to postpone this game or even delay it. Rain should be light enough. Temperatures around here, how about that? 68 in Boston, 66 in Nashua. Vineyard Haven checking in at 54 degrees. Pretty mild stuff all across the region. Not ahead of a cold front. You can tell where that front is, right about in there. You see the 70s and 80s in the mid-Atlantic, but the 50s and some 40s as we move out towards southern Canada. And some of that cooler air tries to nudge its way in tonight. We're not going to feel a big difference this weekend, though. Along it, we've got a few rain showers. This has been running into some very dry air in place, so it's light rain, scattered in nature. If you're going out tonight, definitely bring an umbrella. We're seeing that rain just starting to work into the Boston area. Certainly central Mass, western Mass, southern New Hampshire, all reporting some light rain at the moment. And that's going to continue to move across tonight throughout the evening and the overnight hours. You notice it's not a big slug of torrential rain, not expecting any thunder to come along with this either. And by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, it should all have moved off toward the east. We will see some clouds around early on in the day for the morning hours, but they will melt away. We'll have sunshine by late morning through the afternoon and pretty mild temperatures to boot. In terms of those highs, we're looking at 60s across most of the region. Sea breeze will develop in the afternoon, so that'll knock down the temperatures right along the coast from the North Shore all the way down to the Cape Islands this time. It's a more typical type of sea breeze setup, so a cooler afternoon if you're near the water. High temperature is 60s elsewhere. It'll be bright afternoon. As we head toward tomorrow night, it'll be cool. Some areas of fog may develop, falling back into the 40s. And on Sunday, a warm front moving through, and that can bring some clouds for the first half of the day, maybe even a shower, especially the Route 2 corridor and into southern New Hampshire. We'll see increasing sun in the afternoon and milder in the afternoon, well up into the 60s. And I've been watching the snow just disappear in northern New England this week. Still a lot of it interior Maine, still over a foot in some of the White Mountains, as well as the highest peaks of the Greens, and still quite a bit of snow in the Adirondacks. But a lot of the lower elevations are losing their snowpack. More of that to come. It's interesting, over just the last couple of days, about the equivalent of a 1-inch rainstorm has been released from that snowpack just to our north. So the rivers will be coming up a little bit. Staying above average through Tuesday. You see what happens after this next storm, Tuesday night into Wednesday. That's where the bottom drops out, and it gets much, much colder outside. So here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. A couple of showers for tonight, maybe a couple more early on Sunday morning. As we work our way into the day on Monday, the wind just comes out of the southwest. We're well up into the 70s. And then as we go toward Tuesday, that's where that next rainstorm moves in. That's with us till Wednesday morning, and then we drop like a rock. All right, our schoolyard shout-out for today. How about this one here? Barry made this school visits. This one is a bunch of 3rd to 5th graders at the Lynn Woods Elementary School in Lynn. Making a bunch of noise. A lot of folks have been asking, where is Barry? Barry was on a great vacation for a while. He is back, and as soon as he got back into town, he was back in the schoolyards, in the classrooms.
I saw him leaving today. No wonder there was a big smile on his face. I saw that.
He looks a little tanner, too, doesn't he?
Happy man. Thanks so much. Well, how would you like if your boss said, don't like your job? Quit, and we'll pay you to go. That's the message from Amazon. The online retailer is offering unhappy employees between $2,000 and $5,000 to leave the company. Amazon CEO says in the long run, an employee staying somewhere they don't want to be isn't healthy for them or the company. A little royal competition in New Zealand today. Kate Middleton and Prince William faced off in a friendly sailing race. The two were on different America's Cup boats in Auckland Harbor. Kate beat her husband twice during their time on the water. The two are currently on a 3-week tour of New Zealand and Australia.
What was it when their kids were playing yesterday? The little boy was playing the prince. Yeah, and he was playing, and they called it one of the...
a royal crawlabout.
I love that. One of the British reporters called it a royal crawlabout. Is that a play day? That's what in the face of a gruesome school attack, a teenage girl knew just what to do.
When we return, incredible story. How she kept a boy alive on the way to the hospital, and their touching reunion. And now here are David and Lisa. They have a look at what's coming up at 6.
Well, Paula and Jonathan will have more on our breaking news in the Aaron Hernandez case.
2 accomplices now charged with murder. A former prosecutor will tell us what this means for the case against Hernandez.
And symbols of hope along the Boston Marathon route. The woman who pushed to plant thousands of daffodils and the message she's sending to runners.
I'd wake up every morning and wonder, how in the heck am I ever going to get out of bed and onto these feet? And I found good feet, and I instantly felt the comfort. I used to have bad feet. Now I have good feet.
For a location near you, visit bostonfootpain.com.
Started when Joe was battling cancer.
When I got my diagnosis, just had to face it head on.
The Joe Andruzzi Foundation provides help, hope, and a reason to smile for patients and their families that are battling cancer.
This year, we're at 48 runners. Every stride they make, they're helping families pay a mortgage, pay rent, utilities.
They do a lot for our foundation. They are helping hundreds of families.
It goes a long way.
Window World can save you money and beautify your home. How about a house full of windows? That's 10 Energy Star windows for only $29.65 or just $105 a month. Not only does Window World have unbeatable deals on windows and doors, they also have a terrific selection of siding in a wide variety of sizes and colors. Plus their optional contoured insulating foam keeps your home comfortable year-round. Don't wait for the next big change in the winter weather. To save big money on your energy bills and deck your home with stunning windows and superior siding from Window World. It's never been more affordable to increase the value of your home and start saving money each and every month. So go ahead and give Window World a call. I'm a customer, you should be too.
Call now for a free estimate. 866-830-5000.
Assad essentially put you on notice. Do you take that as a threat? How united are the Republicans? You've seen these neighborhoods. How long does it take to get that back? There's only one place to get this kind of original report. I'm Scott Pelley from CBS News headquarters in New York.
I was in constant pain.
Constant pain.
But I felt relief right away with Good Feet and has allowed me to live a full and pain-free life.
Take that first step. Pain-free.
For a location near you, visit bostonfootpain.com.
Well, 2 days now after the attack, police are still trying to figure out a motive for the stabbings at a Pennsylvania high school.
8 of the 21 people injured do remain in the hospital. 4 still listed in critical condition. Alexis Christopher spoke with one student who may have kept her friend alive.
Gracie Evans was in the hallway at Franklin Regional High School when a fellow student went on a rampage.
Alex just came running through the hallway, very quiet, blank expression on his face, and he was just stabbing people.
16-year-old Alex Rival is accused of slashing or stabbing 21 students and a security guard using 2 large kitchen knives from home. He's charged with 4 counts of attempted homicide. Gracie's best friend, sophomore Brett Hurt, was stabbed in the back.
Brett stepped in front of me, and he took the knife for me. And if he didn't do that, I would have gotten injured.
There was a lot of blood.
There was a lot of blood. It was like that much blood when he pulled it out of his back. Brett just fell forward.
Gracie stayed with Brett until help arrived and rode with him in the ambulance.
I was keeping him awake. I was asking him questions, getting him to answer me.
Her friend was discharged from the hospital on Thursday after an emotional reunion.
When you finally spoke, what did you say to each other? I said, I love you, Brett, and he said, I love you too, Gracie.
Police say Rival isn't talking, so they have no clue yet of a motive. His attorney is asking for a psychiatric evaluation. Alexis Christoforous, CBS News, Murraysville, Pennsylvania.
Smart girl that she was able to keep her head for him.
Lucky for him, yeah.
Well, stay with us. We have much more news still ahead.
That's going to do it for us at 5 o'clock. The news at 6 starts right now.
Signs of security. A look at how police plan to keep people safe on Marathon Monday.
A police department in trouble? One officer charged with slamming a suspect into a wall. Why more members of the force could lose their jobs.
Well, the rainfall moving in to kick off the weekend, but will it stick around for our Saturday?
And growing signs of inspiration along the marathon route.
It is a symbol of hope, and it is a symbol of rebirth.
The 10,000 daffodils struggling to bloom by race day.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 6 starts right now.
And we begin tonight with some breaking news. New murder charges in the Aaron Hernandez case. Good evening, I'm David Wade, in for Jack Williams.
I'm Lisa Hughes. The 2 men who were charged as accomplices in the murder of Odin Lloyd, Carlos Ortiz and Ernest Wallace,
are now facing murder charges. Prosecutors have said that Ortiz and Wallace were with Hernandez the night of the murder, but they've never spelled out how the two men were involved in the killing of Odin Lloyd. Well, our legal analyst tells us this new indictment shows the grand jury believes that Ortiz and Wallace were involved enough to warrant a murder charge.
I think it's a strategic move by the prosecution here. I think they're trying to put some pressure on Hernandez, try to get his alleged accomplices to flip, or to give them some more information to implicate Hernandez. I think unless these people do flip, I think this could actually come back and hurt the prosecution, because in some regard, it makes it easier for the defense to point the finger at the other guy.
We're going to have much more on these new indictments coming up tonight on WBZ News at 11.
And now at 6, inside the command center. This is the technology used to protect the public on Marathon Monday. Authorities adding more security cameras all along the race route, giving them an eye on everything that happens from Hopkinton to Boston. Christina Hager is live for us in Boston tonight with the latest on this. Christina.
Well, David, one of these new cameras is set up here at the corner of Hereford Street and Boylston. That white brand new camera there. And there are several security centers set up where law enforcement officials can watch everything that's happening under the lens in real time. The race numbers are ready, but this year they come with special security instructions. A team of volunteers at State Police Headquarters spent the day stuffing them into clear plastic bags. Along the race course, newly installed security cameras. Here temporarily. You remember how important surveillance was last year. For the first time ever in our state, now all the different camera views are piped into a command center like this.
Bringing that into one system, so all the major command centers will be looking in real time at the same information for situational awareness.
This is the feed coming into the MBTA. There will also be one at the MEMA bunker, where hundreds of officials met with law enforcement from 8 different communities along the marathon route. 250 of these men and women will be here race day studying what happens under this lens.
Downlinks from state police helicopters so they can get a different view of what's happening out there. They have folks that are out there monitoring social media.
To help communications, new temporary cell towers at Copley.
I'm going to have my phone with me, so it's nice to know that hopefully I can get a hold of my family when I'm done.
Former Boston Police Commissioner and WBZ security expert Ed Davis.
Right after the bombs went off, the volume of calls went up so high that the systems shut down. It's great to hear that they're putting these temporary cells up to expand that use. However, I don't know if they'll ever have enough bandwidth to do the volume of calls that emanates from an incident like that.
Still definitely more security here this year, not only for race day, April 21st, but also for the bombing anniversary next Tuesday. Not as much security then, but police do want to make sure the survivors who come here for memorial feel as safe and secure as possible. In the back bay, Christina Hager, WBZ News. David, back to you.
All right, Christina, thank you so much. And federal prosecutors want to know if Johar Tsarnaev is going to use a mental illness defense. Prosecutors filed a motion today asking the defense to give an answer by May the 7th. Mental illness could be used in the trial or perhaps the penalty phase if Tsarnaev is convicted. Also new tonight, prosecutors say they will not present evidence that Tsarnaev shot MBTA police officer Richard Donahue, but they will try to hold him responsible for Donahue's injuries.
Tonight, the city of Medford has announced plans for a permanent memorial to honor the victims of the marathon bombings. Crystal Campbell lived in Medford. She was killed in the first explosion last year. And in tribute, Medford is creating a peace garden that will be filled with symbolism. There will be 4 fountains in the garden representing the 4 lives lost in connection with the bombings.
We want a place where people come together because we find out with community, when you bring people together, they're going to learn about one another. Whether it's their habits, their language, and it's made us a much stronger community.
The Peace Garden will go up near Medford City Hall. They still need about $200,000, but people have been chipping in as word of the project's leaked out. And we hope you'll join us next Tuesday for a day of remembrance. We'll have live coverage all day here on WBZ of the tributes on the first anniversary of the marathon attack.
And a Boston police officer set to be honored by the president for his bravery during the shootout with the marathon bombing suspects has now died suddenly. Officer Dennis Simmons suffered a medical emergency at the training academy yesterday. And today, his fellow officers lined the streets as his body was moved from the morgue to a funeral home in Randolph. Simmons suffered a head injury during a Watertown shootout when one of the suspects threw an explosive at him. Well, next month, he was supposed to travel to Washington to receive the Top Cops Award from President Obama. Officer Simmons was only 28 years old.
Well, there are new consequences tonight as a result of this video recorded 4 years ago. It shows a Seabrook, New Hampshire police officer slamming a man into a wall. Well, the officer is now facing criminal charges. And as New Hampshire Bureau Chief Michael Rosenfield shows us, other members of the force could also be in trouble.
The Seabrook police officer seen manhandling a teenager, now facing criminal charges. Mark Richardson indicted for assault. And now town officials say he'll move from paid leave to unpaid leave.
I think it's unfortunate, and anytime that you have something like this happen, it's something we all wish had not happened.
Town leaders met for an emergency meeting today following the indictment. They say the other two officers seen in the video, who are not facing criminal charges, will remain on paid leave for now. The police chief still bothered by the video that made national headlines.
As a chief, I can say that, disturbing. That's the only way I can say it.
The victim in the video was 19 at the time. Mike Bergeron was being held on drunk driving and drug charges. He posted the video in January, more than 4 years after the incident, setting in motion the criminal and internal investigation. A private company has been hired to conduct that internal investigation to determine if any department rules were violated. That will decide if the men ultimately keep their jobs.
Obviously, it's an eye-opener. If it's something that, police standards training has to adopt something, then they will.
Because Richardson was on duty at the time, he faces an enhanced penalty, up to 5 years in prison if convicted. He's expected to be arraigned in 2 weeks. In Seabrook, New Hampshire, Michael Rosenfield, WBZ News.
We know tonight that a federal agency will now investigate the fire that killed 2 Boston firefighters. It's the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, which is a branch of the CDC. It will look at factors that contributed to the deaths of Lieutenant Ed Walsh and firefighter Michael Kennedy. The agency will then make recommendations which could help protect firefighters in the future.
The fire that destroyed a Quincy home overnight was apparently sparked by a cigarette tossed under a porch. 2 people were in the home when it caught fire. They escaped, but firefighters trying to control these flames ran into a dangerous complication. The fire melted the gas meter. A gas leak then fueled the flames. Fortunately, nobody out there got hurt. Police say a bank robbery suspect in New Hampshire crashed a stolen car trying to get away from officers. They arrested Andrew Dufresne after he drove into a tree on the Lawrence-Methuen line. The 42-year-old is accused of robbing the People's United Bank in Manchester, New Hampshire on Wednesday.
Well, the weekend is now here, and we have a couple of hiccups. That's it. A few showers tonight, some clouds in the morning, and then it's going to be so good. Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher is here with the AccuWeather forecast, and we are ready for this.
All right, David, you set me up to fail now. I have to deliver on a beautiful weekend. I think we will get that, but we do have some rain showers out there for tonight. A front that's working its way through the region. There's the showers stretching from southern New Hampshire back toward the mid-Atlantic, and these are now reaching the ground here around the region, especially central Mass, western Mass. Spotty in nature, it's running into some dry air, so we'll be looking at a 1/4 inch of rain, probably a little bit less in most towns. It's not cold rain. 67 in Boston, 54 in Worcester, 67 in Providence. Maybe that smells outside. I haven't walked out a little bit, but you know that mild spring rain. There's a certain aroma to it. Tonight, areas of showers and patchy fog. Temperatures will stay in the 40s, perhaps a couple of upper 30s by tomorrow morning. And we've got more mild days ahead, still well into the 60s this weekend. 70s on Monday. Big old changes by Wednesday. We'll talk about what comes between the mild and the cold coming up. David, Lisa, back to you.
All right, thanks, Eric. We'll talk to you soon. Coming up on WBZ News, an unconventional rescue. How firefighters freed a man who was trapped under a 600-pound tree trunk.
Plus, the ring he dreamed about for years, the bats and balls that he used to teach generations of players. In sports, Johnny Pesky's lifetime in baseball, now up for sale.
And planting symbols of hope from Hopkinton to Boston, one woman's powerful message to runners and the city they love.
Wearing eyeglasses is personal. Do they make me look too old? Should I get the red ones? Most glasses will improve your vision, but the right glasses are an extension of your personality. Cambridge Eye Doctors is now VisionWorks. Get 2 complete pairs for $99 or 2 pairs of no-on bifocals for $179. VisionWorks, where you'll find more than a pair of glasses, you'll find a better you.
Businesses come in all sizes, and so do their financial needs. At Commerce Bank, we've helped hundreds of businesses, large and small, achieve their goals with innovative products, billion-dollar lending power, and experts who understand your business and your marketplace. Whether you need $200,000 or $20 million, call or visit us at bankatcommerce.com. Commerce Bank. Ask what we can do for you.
Looks can be deceiving. It's certainly true with furniture. 2 items may appear to be the same, but are they? At Boston Interiors, all of the upholstered furniture is made in America. Each piece is crafted with high-grade American hardwood, reinforced block corners, and eco-friendly materials. So when you shop at Boston Interiors, you buy furniture that's great-looking and long-lasting.
Visit Boston Interiors today and save during our spring home sale. The smarter you are about furniture, the more you'll love Boston Interiors.
Winter's in full swing, and Butchika's in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire is your place to gear up for ski and snowboarding this year. Come in, get expert advice from our knowledgeable and experienced staff, browse our huge selection, and take advantage of our low prices on the latest equipment. Plus, get a lift ticket to J Peak with the purchase of any ski or snowboard package over $499. J Peak, the most snow in Eastern North America. Butchika's Ski Shop, your skiing and riding connection, on Route 28 in tax-free Salem, New Hampshire.
It's award season. These awards are coveted by the entertainment industry. Well, the Chrysler Town & Country with an entertainment system and luxurious interior is coveted by, well, everyone. While awards recognize supporting roles, this plays the ultimate supporting role for your family. The Chrysler Town & Country. See it now at the Chrysler Award Season event.
Get a low mileage lease on the 2014 Town & Country Touring for $229 a month for well-qualified lessees.
I'm Robert Battle, Artistic Director of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Join me and 30 of the world's most incredible dancers, performing the hottest new productions and audience favorites like Mr. Ailey's masterpiece, Revelations. Come see us.
At the City Wang Theater, May 1st through 4th only. For tickets, visit citycenter.org.
Huge tree fell and trapped a man in Duxbury today. Firefighters put airbags under this tree and inflated them, and that lifted the tree and the brush just enough for them to pull out this man who was badly hurt. He was flown by med-flight to a Boston hospital.
Well, there is growing signs of hope and renewal all along the route of the Boston Marathon. Daffodils. You see, last fall, volunteers planted 10,000 bulbs from Hopkinton all the way to Boston. But as Ken McLeod explains tonight, because of our tough winter, they're now in a race against time.
They're blooming near the finish line, just budding at the starting line and barely poking through yet in some other spots along the course.
And hopefully Mother Nature will cooperate.
Not to worry, says the daffodil lady.
A couple more warm days.
Confident her yellow army will be ready to help this year's runners rebound.
The silver lining is that we really did learn that we are in this together. And there are some remarkably brave and wonderful people that live among us.
We tagged along with Diane Valley as she made the trek from Hopkinton to Boston.
There's some there, see them?
To check on the 100,000 bulbs her volunteers planted last fall, like the 29 beds in Newton alone.
But it's probably one of the most heartwarming experiences I've ever had.
Joanne Lyons directed the inspirational planting in Johnny Kelly's neighborhood.
Daffodils stand for hope. And it's sort of like a living memorial that will go on year after year as they rebloom.
While the project is driven by volunteers, the cost of the daffodils still works out to about $1,000 a mile, money that has been raised relatively easily from donors nationwide. In fact, there's enough extra to pay for potted daffodils on the concrete home stretch.
When they bloom, the people bloom.
That may sound far-fetched, but the rebirth theme seems to resonate with runners.
And that's a new form of life, just like we're going to have a new marathon this year.
Of course, it's all up to Mother Nature now. We've had some April showers, but we need these flowers before May.
That's hope. We're looking at hope.
Along the marathon route, Ken McLeod, WBZ News.
Such a great story. And Ken was telling me that what they really need is cool nights warm days, but not super cold nights.
Right, and Eric, that's something we're concerned about because we do have some nice warm days, but it sounds like we have some chilly nights in our forecast too.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about them actually opening up, and I'm worried about next week and how cold it might get Wednesday into Thursday, and maybe some very chilly nights back into the 20s. So that'll be something to monitor. Wouldn't worry about it too much. It's out of our hands anyway, right? Let's take a look at what's going on this evening. We've got the Sox, we've got the Yanks, they're down in the Bronx. There will be some showers around for the game tonight, but it doesn't look like they'll be heavy enough to wash things out. I think they'll be able to play it just fine. It was a fantastic spring day, even with the clouds. 70s in Concord and Nashville, up to 70 in Taunton. Lawrence, you're up to 71 degrees today for some of the mildest day so far this year. There, it's all ahead of a cold front. We do see the showers on the map here from New Hampshire and Vermont reaching on back toward D.C. This is starting to reach the ground. It's mainly a light rainfall, a couple of showers here around the Boston area, North Shore, over toward Newburyport, and then westward into central Massachusetts. This is going to continue through the evening. So you have dinner plans, you're heading out, definitely bring the umbrella. Not going to cause any major complications, just series of showers, some patchy fog, and back into the 40s overnight. Tomorrow we're looking at the warm stuff again after some early morning cloudiness, well back up into the 60s. The only difference tomorrow, there will be a sea breeze that develops right near the coast, really from the seacoast in southwest Maine, right on down to the Cape and Islands. So it will be a little cooler if you're within a few miles of the water itself. Here's a look at the timing for all of this. The wave low pressure moves through tonight with those showers, expecting about a quarter inch of rain or maybe even a little bit less than that from this one. Tomorrow morning we wake up, there'll be some clouds to kick things off. You notice a little bit of moisture still left over from the rain, but that will quickly erode. We're into the sunshine midday in the afternoon. It should be a beautiful afternoon actually. And as we head towards Sunday, a few more changes. Another warm front moving in. This will bring some early morning cloudiness, perhaps some rain showers, especially in southern New Hampshire. As Sunday wears on, it should get brighter, it'll get warmer, and then we're just in unbelievably warm air as we head toward Monday, the warmest day that we will have seen since all the way back at the beginning of October. So Saturday's temperatures, 60s inland, all along the coastline, some 40s and 50s, cooler especially during the afternoon. On Sunday, we've got a wedge of 60s, will be chillier in northern New England, and with a southerly wind here in the south coast Cape and Islands. This is where you feel that cooling influence, same spot as we head into Monday. 70s to near 80 inland, and cooler there right near the water. So here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. The weekend overall, I think, is a very good one for us. Monday, well up into the 70s. If we get enough sunshine, a couple towns are going to be up around 80 degrees to start next week. Will be windy. Then as we head toward Tuesday, the rain moves in. Of course, this is the anniversary, a lot of remembrances, observances that will be ongoing for the Boston Marathon. Weather is going to be a complicating factor for that. It could come down pretty heavy Tuesday into Wednesday morning. Then Wednesday and Thursday, we stay in the 40s. So we go from the maybe 80s to 40s in a couple of days. I'd make a joke about typical New England weather, but I don't think anyone would be laughing. David, Lisa, back to you.
No, but thank you, Eric. All right, we have a game coming up tonight in New York, but still talking about the Red Sox-Yankees pitching matchup last night.
Yeah, the pine tar incident. First of all, I want to see your hands. Can I see your hands here?
Hold them up.
Sure, there's a little mud on it.
Well, it's better to hold the scripts with.
Yes.
You have the pine tar.
Well, usually when it's cold. When I'm out on remote and it's cold, I put a little pine tar.
Of course.
Just helps like Pineda does. All right. Red Sox and Yankees go at it again tonight in the Bronx. It'll be a battle of lefties as John Lester faces CC Sabathia. Yanks took game one of this four-game set 4-1 last night. But, as we mentioned, didn't come without controversy. TV cameras showing Yankees starting pitcher Michael Pineda with what appeared to be a dark substance on the palm of his throwing hand for the first 4 innings, possibly pine tar. Well, after the game, Pineda said it was dirt. The Red Sox never complained to the umps, so they never did anything about it. Major League Baseball will not suspend Pineda because the umps never checked him. But in a statement, they said they will talk to the Yankees about it. Meanwhile, there's a pretty unique auction taking place tomorrow over at Fenway Park. As close to 250 pieces from the late Johnny Pesky's estate are being put up for bid. And there's certainly some one-of-a-kind stuff.
This is an amazing thing.
If you're a Red Sox or baseball fan, you may want to get to Fenway Saturday.
It's a history of baseball seen through the career of one man.
And what a career it was. From naval officer to 6 decades with the Red Sox. As a player, manager, coach, broadcaster, and ambassador, he was Mr. Red Sox. And the top items? Johnny's 2004 and 2007 World Series rings.
That's a symbol of 70 years in baseball. That symbolizes it. And it's kind of interesting. It brings everything together.
How hard was this to put together?
We have a lot of things that we kept aside that mean a lot to us as a family.
There are also plenty of low-priced items in the collection. Something for everyone. And doors open at 10 a.m. tomorrow while the bidding begins at noon.
We encourage everybody to just come, even if you don't want to bid, just to come here and view the items. It's like literally a traveling museum. If you decide to bid, you can sit down and have a lot of fun during Saturday.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Meanwhile, the Hobie Baker Award given to college hockey's best player will be handed out any moment down in Philadelphia. BC's Johnny Gaudreau is the heavy favorite, expected to win it, and BC coach Jerry York told the Herald that Gaudreau will now turn pro, and Gaudreau will now hop on a private jet tonight and fly to Calgary to play for the NHL's Flames in their regular season finale on Sunday. Good for him. UMass Lowell's Connor Hellebuck is the winner of the first ever Mike Richter Award as the top goaltender in Division I men's hockey. Hellebuck led the nation in goals against average and save percentage and was second in the country with 6 shutouts. Well, the Celtics host the Charlotte Bobcats at the Garden tonight. C's on a 9-game losing streak. They haven't lost 10 in a row since dropping 18 straight in 2007, the year before the new Big Three was put together. As for hockey, Bruins in Winnipeg to take on the Jets last night. Chara, Bergeron, and Kelly all sitting this one out. The Bees always seem to struggle in shootouts, and they did again last night. Bees lose 2-1 in a shootout, but they still get a point. And finally, at the Masters tournament going on right now, Bubba Watson is your leader at 7 under par so far in the clubhouse. Rounds 3 and the finale right here on WBZ Saturday and Sunday. Always one of the best times of the year.
It'll be great to watch. Back to the pine tar thing
Yes.
for just a moment. You surprised that the players didn't really make much of a stink about it?
No, because Clay Buchholz had some issues in Toronto last year, and I kind of think they all wanted to go away. And the hitters are the ones, they look at this as, if it gives them a better grip in cold weather in that hand, it means no headhunting. The ball doesn't get away. So they'd rather have a guy with control and try to beat him that way. They don't think it does anything to the ball funny, like the spitter used to do. It just gives the pitcher a better grip.
All right.
Good explanation. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you so much. Well, the CBS Evening News is coming up next at 6:30.
And Scott Pelley joins us live from New York now with a preview. Scott?
Lisa and David, great to be with you in Boston. A lot of people waiting for their tax refunds might be surprised to learn that they could lose part of that tax refund because of a debt that their parents incurred as much as decades before. We'll explain that to you. It's surprising a lot of people today, and we'll have the rest of the world news for you on the CBS Evening News in about 10 minutes.
Sounds like a must-watch story there. Scott, thank you so much. Well, still to come, drivers left in the dark, dozens of highway signs broken, why they will not be fixed.
On a powerful new episode.
You think Detective Reagan steps over the line?
He probably steps on the line. When the investigator, 2 detectives want to interview me about you, becomes the investigated.
Put together his case files discreetly.
Who's investigating me and why? The fallout. It's home.
If you think I'm not doing the job the right way, then just come to me. It doesn't work that way.
And your son. Don't miss a new Blue Bloods. CBS tonight.
It's award season, so what do Dodge and I have in common? They love a 4-wheel drive. I love a 4-letter word. Dodge is fabulous engineers. I mean, they're so good. I have hired them to do my next phase. I used to babysit the Dodge brothers. Awful kids. Anyhow, I gotta go. My face is melting. Ice, I need ice.
Well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2014 Dodge Journey SE all-wheel drive for $179 a month.
It started when Joe was battling cancer.
When I got my diagnosis, just had to face it head on.
The Joey and Drizzy Foundation provides help, hope, and a reason to smile for patients and their families that are battling cancer.
This year, we're at 48 runners. Every stride they make, they're helping families pay a mortgage, pay rent, utilities.
They do a lot for our foundation. They are helping hundreds of families.
It goes a long way.
At UMass Amherst, the Commonwealth's flagship campus, we stand for progress. From the discoveries in our new life science laboratories, to our graduate work in renewable energy, to our advancements in life-saving storm tracking technology, and our mission to modernize some of the state's oldest native industries. At UMass Amherst, we don't just think about the future of Massachusetts, we help define it.
I'm Teddy Bruschi. Tackling a professional football player is not easy. But tackling the high cost of healthcare, now that's easy. Just go where I go, Shields MRI. The Shields family gives you a quality MRI at a sensible price. In fact, they could save you up to $1,000 or more. So get out there and take on those high medical costs. It's easier than taking on a really big fullback. Trust me. Why overpay for an MRI? Choose to go where I go, Shields MRI.
Charles, where's Dad? Doesn't he know we're shooting a new Kia commercial?
I don't know. Maybe he's in the all-new 2014 Kia Sorento?
I'll bet he's behind the wheel of the new Kia Optima. He loves that car.
Let's go find him. Is he over here?
Is he here?
Hey!
You can drive a 2014 Kia Sorento for $129 a month or a brand new Kia Optima for only $99 a month.
Shop us last. You'll love us.
Well, this won't get you to your fried clams on the Cape any quicker this summer, but at least you'll be able to plan a little better. These permanent travel signs are being installed along Route 6, and over the next year, they'll be added all around the state. And hopefully, they'll last a little longer than these signs, which hang over most of our highways. You see, there are 184 of these signs across the state, but according to records obtained by the Boston Herald, 43 of them, all right, we skipped past it, 43 of them are permanently broken. They can't be fixed. That's because there are no replacement parts. MassDOT now plans to replace the signs entirely, but it isn't sure when, and we don't have to replace this. This was operator error, by the way, Lisa.
All right, David, thank you. Well, it looks like the company that runs the commuter rail has lost its fight to derail the new company's contract. A judge has refused to block the MBTA's plan to transfer the contract to a French firm, Keolis. The current operator, Mass Bay Commuter Railroad, said Keolis' bid had all kinds of problems and didn't even meet the MBTA's requirements. Mass Bay, for its part, says it is deeply disappointed, but that it will now focus on making the transition to Keolis as seamless as possible. Keolis is scheduled to take over in July. And a proud Westfield State University alum wants to give the school $100,000, but there's a catch. He wants the university's former president to drop his lawsuit against the school. Evan Dobell was forced out over questions about expensive trips that he took on the state's dime. Elizabeth Grady, CEO, and Westfield State grad John Walsh says the lawsuits are hurting the school. But the weekend will help lots of us who want a break and some nicer weather.
We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Steel. Find your local Steel dealer online at steeldealers.com. That's STIHL dealers.com.
Our faith in each other, our common creed cuts across whatever superficial differences there may be.
And that is our power.
That is our strength.
That's why a bond can't beat us.
We carry on.
We race! We come together to celebrate life.
And to cheer for our teams.
The crowds will gather.
On the third Monday in April, the world
will return to this great American city to run harder than ever.
And to cheer even louder.
bet on it.
Bet on it.
Bet on it. Bet on it.
Backed by popular demand and only at K&G, 100% wool suits are now just $99.99. Plus select designer suits are $199.99. Buy one, get two free. Refresh your look for Easter at K&G.
K&G. There's only one way to really save money on carpet and hardwood flooring. Buy direct. Skip the middleman. That's what National Floors Direct is all about. I saved hundreds.
At National Floors Direct, we'll beat anyone's price by 15% or it's free. Call 888-400-4 for a free estimate.
At Southern New Hampshire University, we believe how you define success is an important part of who you are.
Success means to me waking up with a smile on your face, being able to provide for your family.
Never giving up on your dreams.
Walking with my cap and gown, that will be my biggest success.
As a nonprofit university, we're committed to helping each of our students succeed.
SNHU and my family have been there every step of the way, so I know I'm going to be successful.
Fund your online graduate or undergraduate program today and see yourself succeed at snhu.edu.
The character of a champion includes overcoming adversity. And in last year's marathon, Luisa DeCisa was the champion.
The Boston Marathon.
DeCisa felt touched by the tragedy, and he wanted to bring the champion's medal and present it back to the city of Boston. He came back to present that most cherished of symbols to a city that had shown the resilience of a champion. His way of saying, we're all champions, we all share this.
Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive the lowest ever lease on Camry, the most dependable midsize car, for only $158 a month with no cost maintenance included. Or get best ever 0 for 60 plus $750 bonus cash on Camry. Hurry, Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up soon. Toyota, let's go places.
Termites cause structural damage, and most homeowners don't even know it's happening.
Protect your investment with the Home Care Termite Program from Modern Pest Services. Call for a free, no-hassle quote over the phone. Termite problems? Not on our watch.
Backed by popular demand and only at K&G, 100% wool suits are now just $99.99. Plus select designer suits are $199.99. Buy one, get two free. Refresh your look for Easter at K&G. K&G.
It's 7 o'clock tomorrow morning at the finish line. The Sports Illustrated picture of anybody who wants to come down. What's it going to be like?
It's going to be good. It's going to be cool. It might be a little bit cloudy. The clouds are good for pictures.
Yes.
Even lighting on everyone. Be perfect. All the showers will be gone, and then the sun comes out. After that, we're in the 60s tomorrow as well as Sunday, and 70s on Monday. How about that?
That's a great looking weekend and Monday.
And you're ready to run.
I'm ready. I wish it was this Monday, to be honest. I am just ready to go. We've been training for months now.
We're excited for you.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah,
Look
thanks,
forward to it.
Appreciate it. Danny, Red Sox, Yankees tonight?
Yeah.
Excited for
Two
that?
lefties.
You're really amped up for this game.
Yeah, a little pine tar on my...
Yeah.
There you go.
You
I'm
did it?
rosin. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you at 11 o'clock. Good night.
10 days until the Boston Marathon here on WBZ.